Hi, I'm Bernard Singleton. I am not a social media influencer. I am just a person who's deeply concerned about the status of my people, what's happening to us as a people. I am an American. I am a Christian, but I am also a Black American. So I have a question today for MAGA black men who are still wearing the MAGA hat. Why are you still wearing the MAGA hat after all you have seen that's happening to your people? If I saw anyone who saw my son or my daughter being abused and they had the power in their hands to stop that abuse and they simply chose to do nothing, I would lose all respect for that person and I would be very angry at that person. When you as a black person put on that MAGA hat, or you do not vote at all, you help put all of us, all of our children, all of our fathers, all of our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, our family, and our friends in danger. Many of you will argue against what I just said, but I am not interested in your argument. I am interested in the fate of our people. And as angry as I am, I will not disrespect you. I will simply try to make some things clearer. And if I can reach one or two of you, then my efforts are not in vain. Many of you publicly called Kamala Harris a B. You attacked President Obama, yet you saw no fault in Trump. So I ask you, which of you would call or allowed to be called your black mother, your daughter, your sister, a B? Would their imperfections make this okay? And then I ask you, would you ever tell your daughter, your black daughter, that she cannot be president because she is black or mixed? Well, that's exactly the message that you put out when you said that Kamala Harris, because of her ethnicity, was not qualified to be president. Neither Kamala Harris or President Obama or even Joe Biden are perfect. Neither am I. Neither any of you. But the facts show that they fought harder than most for us. I want to talk today about the sufferings of our people because maybe this will wake some of us up to take off that MAGA hat. There was a time as black people when our parents taught us certain things. There was a time when black actors, black singers, black preachers, and black people as a whole understood that if one of us is suffering, then we all are suffering because what they do to one, they can certainly do to others of us. But unfortunately, too many of us has put on our individual hats, our individual wealth, and we put our individual well-being ahead of our people as a whole. So we ignore the cries and the sufferings of our people just as long as we get ours. As a result, we ignore or we refuse to see what is actually destroying our people. The regular news won't tell you this, nor will money-driven podcasters tell you this. But here are some of the sufferings of our people. Black farmers are being denied federal aid, or else is being greatly reduced. While other farmers, their aid is actually increasing. Black contractors are on the same dilemma as black farmers. And when blacks get government help, it's demonized as welfare. But when others get help from the government, it's called assistance. Yet billionaires under this administration receive welfare. It's called tax breaks. Some of you are familiar with Pell Grants, which help many of our black college students, as well as other financial aid to HBCU colleges, that these things are being greatly decreased under this administration. It's being attached to allowing the Trump administration more control over HBCUs as a way to get more financial aid. Some of you are familiar with Job Corps. Job Corps helped many disadvantaged families, many black families, other families too. But Job Corps was recently dismantled without notice. Now look at the domino effect. Many of those kids became homeless. Then when they became homeless, the new laws would lock them up for being homeless. Some of them would even be deported to God knows where. Some blacks are being tossed out of airports, shot and killed while in their own homes. Remember Sandra Massey? Some blacks are being denied service in certain restaurants and more. Yet the regular news will not cover these things. As I speak to you, mass ICE agents are raiding our neighborhoods of color, and American citizens are disappearing. We are being pepper sprayed. We are being gassed. These are facts. Our apartment complexes comprised of blacks and Latinos are being invaded in Chicago. They even arrested a white judge for simply doing her job. So what makes you feel so comfortable that it can't happen to you with your MAGA hat on? We are increasingly being stopped, frisked, physically attacked, and even killed in routine traffic stops when it used to be they would give you a ticket and you go on about your way. Then they shut down Head Start that so many blacks and other families needed. So now many black children are suffering. Some black employee, because Head Start was shut down, lost their job. It's a domino effect, always is. Then they got rid of Meals on Wheels, SNAP benefits, which is really food stamps. And as a word of education, SNAP benefits really help more red states than it does blue states. They also cut billions from Medicare and Medicaid. And this is one of the things the Democrats were fighting for in the present government shutdown. They shut down Social Security offices and so on. That means that your mother, my mother, your family, and my family will suffer because they don't have access to an office, and many older people do not understand how to navigate through the current computer system. They took over the Smithsonian Institute, and by doing that, they systematically removed things relating to slavery. They removed the accomplishments of black pioneers like Jackie Robinson, Harriet Tubman, or even Hispanic pioneers like Cesar Chavez, or even Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a former Supreme Court justice that aided blacks through her rulings. Anything that they deemed DEI, which is a code name for blacks, they found every possible way to get rid of it. Then they fired top generals, black generals, recently. And they are actively attempting to shut down Democratic fundraising efforts, which helps them to steal the 2026 midterm elections. They mercilessly fired over 20,000 federal workers, knowing that many of those workers are black females, knowing that the federal jobs make up 15% of the total jobs held by blacks in America, knowing that many of them were just a few years or months, possibly even weeks from retirement. They knew they would lose their jobs, they knew they would lose their homes, but they did not care. These are our black children, our black mothers, our black fathers, our black family, and our black friends. Yet this administration is getting richer and making the rich richer, while imposing tariffs that have made food and everything else that we pay for higher for blacks and the rest of us. Then to cover it all up, they have either dismantled or find anything or anyone from agencies that gives oversight to show what this administration is doing that is improper. This includes the damage being done to HBCUs, damage being done to the Department of Education, damage being done to the environment, and more. Wake up, my black people. Then they threaten the media. This is why regular media no longer covers black killings like Sandra Bland a few years back, Trayvon Martin about 5 years back, the recent hanging of a black college male student a few miles from his campus. This never made the news, the regular news, I would say. Then after the death of you-know-who, black colleges that had nothing to do with this started receiving bomb threats. The hanging of the black college student that I just referred to was quickly ruled no foul play. Then they continue to send the military into our neighborhoods. This has never been heard of. My God. Where crimes are actually down, and they lied saying crime in these neighborhoods was up. Check the statistics, check the facts. Yet in red states where crime is actually up, no troops were ever sent, nor will they ever be sent. That's part of the game. Then every January 6th rioter who actually committed actual crime, storming the Capitol, they were pardoned, every one of them. While people like you and I still rot in jail, we were called scum. We were called lawbreakers. But these January 6th rioters were called patriots. Then DOGE was formed to cut costs and to supposedly save the government money, while over $1,192,401,142.83 in debts were wiped out through fines and penalties that were dismissed and other matters relating to this January 6th pardon. But yet DOGE was saving American money, cutting costs. What hypocrisy. You see, blacks, we pay a heavy fine daily. Then never before seen in history and without cause, the National Guard was called against peaceful black and Hispanic protesters, while when others in America protest just recently, no King's Rally and such, no National Guard, no Army, no anything. What a double standard. And the same administration refuses to obey the courts, while we get locked up in record numbers that we don't. They have rolled back black history. Many of our civil rights gains have been rolled back. See Project 2025 by the rulings of this recent Supreme Court. They desire to take us back to the days where we have no rights. Then they are on this vengeance tour against black females who prosecuted him, such as Letitia James. She is one of us. She could be our daughter. She could be our sister. She could be our mother. There's much more, but time will not allow me to tell all of the sufferings of your people. You are aware of many of the sufferings, even if I didn't tell you this. Come on, you know, you understand. The MAGAs are attempting to purge America. That is what MAGA really means. Sadly, too many blacks with their MAGA hats on are smiling, laughing, and giggling, and help them to do it. So what can we do? First of all, we pray. We understand that. But prayer without works is dead. So as we pray, we must educate ourselves. If we are to survive as a people, all of us must not only teach ourselves, but also teach our children. Teach them the truth of what is really going on, like our parents used to teach us back in the day. Learn the MAGA language. Understand what MAGA really means. Know their hidden codes. Know DEI means their code. That's a black person. Know that we are a smart, intelligent people. We are more than TikTok videos. We are more than the stickers in our beautiful hair. We are not here to take those things away, but we are here to tell you that in order to survive, we have to be much, much more than that. Understand that our vote, whether we vote or whether we don't vote, even at the lowest level, determines every aspect of our life. Let me give you an example. When a local town or city passes an ordinance, those people were voted into office. Those very ordinances that they pass that often work against us will allow one parking ticket that you may get to cause your license to be snatched. And then on top of that, fines will pile up. You will not be able to pay the fines. And then it'll keep on working against you. And you will find yourself getting into a deeper and a deeper hole. Your vote could have stopped this, even in those little small elections. Understand that MAGA recently put in 3 Supreme Court judges. That is a true power for president to be able to appoint a Supreme Court judge, because long after a president is gone, that Supreme Court judge is in there for a lifetime. And if they perform his agenda, whether it be a good or bad, normally it's going to reach down and trickle down to you and I. So they are slowly stripping you of all of your rights. Your vote could have helped stop this. Here's some food for thought. How many blacks were put in this present cabinet? 1. The typical hot appointment token. And the MAGAs were the one that told us we can't be a pilot, because if a black person becomes a pilot, it's because we got it from DEI. But yet, all of the other pilots, their credentials are not questioned, and often many of them got their appointment through a different type of DEI, if you understand what I'm saying. MAGA says that whatever job you or I got, even Ketanji Brown, the first black female Supreme Court justice, that she got her job through DEI. But no question about the other people who became Supreme Court justices. So we have to continue to educate ourselves, get the facts straight. Here's some facts. Joe Biden gave out a bigger stimulus check than Donald Trump. Joe Biden refused to put a signature on it because he understood, and as his own words said, this is not about me, but this is to help people. So he refused to put his name on it. But on the other hand, Donald Trump, the stimulus check that he signed, he fought against it. But when he realized it was going to go through, he conveniently put his name on it, and many of you fell for that okie doke and says, oh yeah, we got this big stimulus check from Donald Trump. Okay. It is also a verifiable fact that President Obama and President Biden left Trump with a good economy that he destroyed each time. It is also a fact that President Biden and Kamala Harris actually gave billions to HBCUs, while the Trump administration reluctantly gave them a few million. And there's much more. So I ask you, brothers and sisters, who still refuse to take that MAGA hat off, in what world do you live in where racism is dead? And what fairy tale land do you live in that you ignore not only MAGA's racist words, but their racist actions, and you continually proudly wear the hat? The sad truth is that too many of us sold our race out. Some sold out to make money because they had a money-making podcast. Some sold out because they liked the way Trump acted, his machoism. Some sold out because even when he put your race down, you believe all of his lies, or overlooked all of his lies, 30,000 and counting. Some sold out because you were expecting another stimulus check. And I say, if I got a $2,000 stimulus check right now, I could certainly use it. But would I accept that check knowing that my brothers and sisters are suffering, being killed, dying, starving, their rights being taken? Would I sell my soul for a $2,000 stimulus check? The Bible says, what profits a man to gain the whole world, yet lose his very own soul? So as I close, I want to just say this. The maggots took up this abortion issue, the abortion issue. Understand, when they took up the abortion issue, it was really about abortion. It was always about maintaining control and the status quo. Some sold out and sat in black barber shops, crossed their legs, and lied to their own people in order to enrich themselves. And too many of us, even after what I'm saying, after so many others have told you, take the hat off, you have made up your mind you're going to keep it on, but I am praying that you will take that hat off. Our hope and our prayers is that not only do you take that hat off, but that you will wake up. ECARPU is wake up spelled backwards. EKEWPU. We cannot go backwards. We have to stay woke, wake up, and move forward. And as I close, the last thing I want to say, understand the 2026 election midterms are coming up. If you stayed at home in the past, if you voted MAGA in the past, understand when we told you when this thing was first starting, this was not an election as any other election. This wasn't a normal Democrats versus the Republicans. This is an evil, a constitutional crisis, a challenge to our Constitution that was going to come. And who always gets the worst of it? It's us as Black people. So wake up, 2026, get off the couch, go vote. And vote in a way that will help your people. God bless you.